Hi, my name's Janelle and welcome back to my channel. Today's video has been inspired by one of my favourite YouTubers, Annika Victoria, and a video she did a few years ago now on how to draft a pattern from a dress you already own. I'll have a link to the video down below in the description, and in this video I'm going to be attempting a similar project. In this video I'm going to be recreating one of my all-time favourite dresses. This is the dress that I will be recreating today. I picked this one up from an op shop quite a few years ago now, and it has been one of my favourites ever since. So I thought this would be the perfect dress to try to recreate today, and hopefully if I can draft a pattern from it, then I can make this dress in lots of different fabrics and yeah, make many more dresses like this for many years to come.
Here's what you'll need for this project: some wrapping paper, a permanent marker, the dress you'd like to recreate, a notebook and pen, a measuring tape, some pins, and the fabric you'd like to make your new dress out of. It's a good idea to choose a fabric similar to the fabric of the dress you're trying to recreate. The fabric I've chosen for this project is a beautiful mustard floral crepe, which I'm absolutely in love with. I think it's going to turn out stunning. So the first thing I'm going to do is turn the dress inside out and really study how the dress has been put together. As at this point I noticed that this dress is made up from one main front piece that has two side panels attached to it. I then turn the dress over and do the same for the back of the dress. Once I've figured out what pattern pieces I need, I'm going to place a piece of wrapping paper onto my table and use some masking tape just to keep it in place and stop it from moving about. I've decided to start with the front panel piece of the dress and realised that this piece could be cut on the fold. I therefore use my measuring tape to find exactly where the centre line of that piece is, and then fold the dress in half at that centre point and place the folded edge of the dress onto the edge of the wrapping paper. I then smooth out the dress onto the paper as best as I can, and then I start to trace the shape of the pattern onto the paper. For the parts where the dress is unable to be traced with a pen, I'm going to use a handy trick that I learnt from the Annika Victoria video, and that is to take a pin and just pinprick my way along the dress seams. This will create a dotted line on the paper underneath, which can be traced with a pen later on, kind of like a dot to dot. I then use a ruler to create about a 1 cm seam allowance along the entire pattern piece, except for where the pattern piece will be placed on the fold. I then repeat this process for each and every piece of the dress. Creating the sleeve pattern piece is a little bit different. With a notebook and pen handy, I'm going to lie the sleeve out as flat as possible. Then I'm going to measure the entire sleeve, starting from the smallest end of the sleeve, the length, and working my way up to the widest point of the sleeve. I drew a diagram of the sleeve in my notebook, and I'm using this to jot the measurements down in, like this. I'm then going to relay those measurements onto paper. I've decided to fold the paper in half and create the sleeve on the fold to make it a little bit easier to get it symmetrical. It takes a little bit of patience, but if you take your time measuring accurately, your sleeve will turn out just fine. Now that the pattern pieces are all made, it's finally time to cut them out, remembering to add a 1 cm seam allowance where needed. Next, it's time to cut out your fabric. I'm going to lay my fabric out on the fold and place the pattern pieces on top, pinning as I go. Once the pattern pieces are pinned in place, it's time to cut them out. For this dress, there are a couple darts at the back, so the first thing I'm going to do is mark where they will meet with my water erasable pen and then sew them in place. Then I'm going to start working on the front of the dress. I'm going to stitch the side panels to the front piece of the dress, overlocking the raw edges as I go. Next, I'm going to sew the back bodice pieces to the back skirt pieces. Then I'm going to attach the back dress piece to the front dress piece, sewing at the shoulder seams. Once that's done, I'm going to hem the neckline, and then I'm going to attach the sleeves at the shoulder seam. Once the sleeves are in place, I'm going to sew along the entire side of the dress, starting at the end of the sleeve all the way to the bottom of the dress. I'm then going to sew the back seam together, leaving an opening at the top of the neck seam for the keyhole opening like on the original dress. I then hem the sleeves and along the bottom of the dress. And the final step is to sew a button onto the back of the dress and stitch a little button loop to finish that keyhole detail at the back of the dress. So, how did I go? How do these dresses compare?
I am so happy with how this dress has turned out. I was hoping it would turn out this good, and it has, and I'm so excited because now I've got a pattern to recreate my favourite dress over and over. If you have a favourite dress, I really encourage you to have a go at this tutorial. It seems really daunting, but it really isn't that difficult. Definitely worth the time and patience it takes to do this project. If you have a go at this project for yourself, then please use the hashtag RosaryDIY so I can see how your dresses have turned out. Follow me on Instagram at Rosary Apparel if you'd like to see some of the other dresses I make. Thanks for watching!